Hey guys, it's Lawrence Presman. You're watching Puck Time with the Prez, and it's Wednesday, February 26th. A shout out to my mom. It's her 75th birthday today. Obviously, she's my mom. I love her very much. She did me proud just by having me. So that's it. Mom, happy birthday. I know you don't watch this show, but hey, it's your birthday, so I'm shouting you out anyway. Lots to talk about. Man, we are absolutely rolling at wagertalkingsportsmemo.com. Before I bring the boys in, let me just tell you guys some highlighted streaks. Buster Sports 10-1 hockey run. Gianni the Greek 11-1 all sports run. Teddy Covers 7-1 college basketball run. Uskheim Sports 8-2 college basketball run. Bobby Liggs, we'll talk about him later, 10-3 NBA run. And me, the Prez, 14-3 college basketball run. Rob Vino is killing it as well over at Sports Memo. So is Dr. Chuck. We are just in the zone right now, guys. If ever you were going to buy a package from Wager Talk or Sports Memo, now is the time. 3 games today in hockey. We're going to talk about them all. I want to bring my guests in, Carmine the Bald Man Bianco and Andrew the Kid McGinnis. And Andrew, let's start with you right off the top. You've got a NHL total tonight. 74% in NHL totals on the season. Really begs the question why you're not putting more out. What's going on, my brother?
Yeah, totals have pretty much been the best that I've done, really. Sides have been okay, but clearly totals have been kind of the best parts, which is why, like you just said, I'm going to release a lot more of those, especially as my advertised plays. Another short card here tonight, guys, that I really found maybe a bigger card. So what it is, I just find 4-game slates might be easier, but things are good, Prez. How are you?
Well, your sound is not that great. Carm, did you find it was a bit up and down?
It cut it a little bit at the end, so I'm not sure. We're having bad weather north of Toronto, so it could be you and I, Prez, and not him for one.
That's true. It is snowing beautifully. Guys, I know you can't see me, but I haven't shaved in like 8 days. The question I'm asking myself is a beard or no beard? I'm going to try to figure that out. Carm, what's going on, dude? You had a heartbreaking loss last night in NHL.
Yeah, you know what? Normally if regardless of what the final score is, if I think it was a bad game, it really bothers me. You give me the same 2 teams in the same scenario, and I'll continue to take the Coyotes. They didn't get any power plays at all in that game. There's only 2 penalties called, and both resulted in a goal. Arizona got a shorthanded goal, and ultimately Florida got the game winner halfway through the third. So that sucked. I think Arizona outshot them. I thought they played 38-26. I thought they played well, but they didn't play well enough to win. So it bites because obviously on Tuesday when you're the featured guy, you want to win your play. But get right back on that horse. I always, most important part of being a handicapper and doing this stuff is you don't turtle. So I posted right away. I think literally as the horn sounded for the 2-1 final, I posted on Twitter, letting the guys know, the play lost. Apologies to everyone who followed, and we move on to the next one.
We do, bro.
It's what it is.
Yeah, look, and to me, I mean, I'm just gutted. Like, my college basketball is ridiculous right now. A 14-3 college basketball run. But I've just completely hit the skids in hockey. And if you guys listened to yesterday's show, I mean, Carm, I picked everything right. I told people to take a parlay on Calgary and the Leafs. It won. I loved Dallas, on and on and on. Every single game I called right, except the ones I released to my customers. I went 0-1-1. I pushed on the over in the Philadelphia Flyer game. 2.5 minutes, needed an empty net goal, didn't get it. And then lost Nashville -1.5. 2 minutes, needed an empty net goal, didn't get it. You know, when you're rolling, you get these empty netters. When you're not, you don't.
It's listen, it's tough, but you know, I'm looking at the sched from yesterday, and you know, guys don't believe us. Just go back and watch yesterday's show, and you literally told people, I believe Minnesota as well too. Yep. You told people New Jersey Devils. Yep. You know, you just go through it. Calgary plus 175, 180 yesterday. You could get them. The Leafs plus 160, 170. Again, you told guys. You know, these are games where you gave Dallas Stars. You know what I mean? The Flyers. You know, these are games that you gave out, and unfortunately, you know, the ones that you had, unlucky. I watched the end of both those games because I know you had them, and it's beside me, number one, how the Sharks waited until there was less than 2 minutes left to pull their goalie when they're down to. The rule of thumb this year has been you take out your goalie with about 3.5 minutes left when you have possession in the offensive zone, which they did have. So I don't get it, and that's probably why the Sharks are where they are right now. And then Nashville, the guy had a clear shot at the net and didn't take it. I don't get it.
Same with a bad team for empty net goals in general. Yeah. They don't go for it as much. So it's just like St. Louis. It's just don't go for the empty net. They clear it down the ice, and some teams like Tampa Bay, Toronto, those type of teams will go for the empty net goal.
Yeah, and Philly had a shot at the empty net too, winger on the right side, and decided to pass it on a 2-on-1. They're on a 2-on-1 with no goalie in the net, and his pass was too far ahead of the skater. Anyway, boys, let's get to the first game, and then I've got two unbelievable promotions to talk about. Andrew, I'm going to go to you first on this game. Colorado hosting Buffalo. The total is 6. Colorado -210. I like Colorado a lot tonight. I like them on the money, on the puck line, and in regulation. And I like the under. I think we're going to get only 1 or 2 goals from Buffalo. I could see a 3-1, 4-1, 4-2 at most game here. That's where I'm looking. What do you think?
I really do like the under as well, Prez. I've been kind of riding that under theory with this Colorado team. Their injuries stacked up. They had to find a way to win games without having to be so reckless. Missing some key guys down their lineup, including Calvert. I think Nazem Kadri has been a way more impact being out of the lineup than people might have thought he was. Grubauer, of course, out of the lineup. They've definitely, changed the way that they play. I know it's been Anaheim and LA and some teams they've played, but they've certainly stepped it up defensively. And Buffalo, I mean, it's hard to ever really take an under with them. You don't really know what you're going to get with them. But I feel like they know if they're going to be successful against this team, they'll have to play a good defensive game as well. We're seeing the total here at -105 as the under. And that's my bet here. I don't really lean either way with line or puck line in this game. I think that it will be competitive. And it'll definitely come down to, last 10, 15 minutes in the third period. It definitely won't be a blowout by any means, but I could definitely see Colorado getting it done. And it's important to mention that these are the games that start to matter for, at this time of the year, because on paper, although there's some injuries right now for Colorado, these are the games that Colorado should win easily. So we're looking back, maybe a month or two from now, we're all doing this same show. We're going to say, oh, maybe if Colorado had that one win against Buffalo, or maybe if they beat this one team, these wins all matter at this point. So I know they're banged up. They're playing a weak team, but they should get the job done. So I saw on Twitter you gave out a few parlays yesterday. This might be a good chance here. Put Colorado with Pittsburgh, maybe, see what happens.
He's Andrew McGinnis. You can find him at sportsmemo.com. Carmine Bianco, what do you like in this one?
Yeah, no, to Andrew's point of, these are the ones you have to win. I somewhat agree, but I have to disagree in the sense of the Sabres have been playing better hockey of late. It's hard to understand because I figured at this point of the season, they've been a spot where they just continue to move down the standings. But, they have won, 6 of their last 7. And this is with Ullmark getting injured and Carter Hutton coming in. And Dave Koken and I would fade Carter Hutton anytime he was in net because he was absolutely brutal. He hadn't won anything since the 22nd of October. But you look at his games, and they're beating some teams that play well as well too. They beat the Leafs, they beat the Rangers, who are extremely hot right now. Columbus a couple of times. You look at Carter Hart's games over the last little while, and there's a lot of 2s as far as goals allowed, which if you like the under is good. There's really only 2 bad performances in his last 10 or so, and that was to Ottawa where they lost 7-4, and to this Colorado team where they lit him up for 5 goals on 13 shots in a 6-1 win in Buffalo. So I wouldn't normally say that the Sabres are a live dog here. If anything, I tend to look at the under here and think that a Colorado team that's played to the under 9 of their last 10 games, and the Sabres who are playing well defensively, and this is a team that may want to come in and at the very least try and get this game to the third period, try and get it to overtime, try and get a point. So they're going to play a little bit better defensively. They'll look at what they did wrong in that 6-1 loss and try and not, and obviously not emulate the same thing tonight. So under 6 looks good for me here. You got to lay about minus 115 on it. Off the books, I may actually take a shot on the Sabres, plus 175, but I wouldn't make it a recommendation to other people unless you're really looking for a big dog tonight.
And Carm, possibly a look at the plus a half goal, I'd say, for the Sabres in the first period. I'd say if I was going to bet them to have a good performance, it has to be off the get-go and have a good defensive first frame. And oftentimes you can get a decent plus price at that. Yeah,
no, and you should be able to, even on the plus 1.5, which I don't normally like taking the plus 1.5 just because of the whole empty net goal aspect of it. But no, they're definitely live, and Colorado's lost to some teams, that normally that they wouldn't at home to. So the LA Kings being one of them, although that was an outdoor game, but. Whether they're live or not, I guess we'll find out tonight. But as far as this show goes, it's the under for me here.
Carmine Bianco, wagertalk.com. Boys, I want to give out a promo. Bobby Liggs, hottest handicapper we have over the last 30 days. He's on a 34-14 all sports run. He bets hockey and both basketballs. He's over 60%. In hockey, college basketball, and NBA over the last 30 days. He's on a 10-3 NBA run. And you guys should check out his profile over at wagertalk.com. This is an old-time bookmaker, just an unbelievable handicapper year after year, one of the top handicappers we have at the website. I took $100 off of a month of all his plays. Head over to wagertalk.com. Use the promo code Bobby30days. That's Bobby30days. $100 off of all of his 30-day package. And trust me, folks, this guy is absolutely incredible at what we do. Head over to wagertalk.com. Use the promo code Bobby30days. Huge game. In Vegas tonight. Vegas is 2 points up on Edmonton for the lead in that division. They have won. Edmonton has a game in hand. So, Edmonton is in a position here. If they can win this game, they're going to be leading the pack. Minus 220 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Edmonton coming off of a back-to-back. They went into overtime last night against Anaheim, lost 4-3. The over and under in this game is 6.5. Carm, I'll go to you first. I cannot take Vegas here at minus 220. No chance. I think Edmonton's playing really good hockey. I like the over in this game. I think we're going to get 7 to 9 goals.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to take either side in this game. Obviously, the puck lines are out of play as well, too. It's a total for me as well, too. I like the 6.5. I watched a little bit of that Edmonton game, and then obviously watched the sort of the 30-minute condensed version of the game. And those first couple of lines for the Oilers look pretty good. I have to I have to say, the Anastasio and God, what's the other guy's name that
Tyler
they picked
Ennis.
up in the trade? Tyler Ennis.
Great goal
they look
by
pretty
him.
good. Yeah, they look. They're looking good. And if you're going to beat Vegas, or you've got to obviously outscore them, but you've got to roll out lines against them. You can't go in there with like one or two lines. So it looks like, this is an Edmonton team we've got to sort of watch now. They're making a move. For me, it's the over or nothing. I can't take anything else with them. And they're scoring goals. And Vegas, by their own accounts, they have put it together. You look at them; they're scoring goals. They've scored. Let's see here: 6, 5, 5, and 6. 5 or more goals in 4 of the last 6 games. All 6 games are wins. That the only low-scoring game in that whole thing was against the Islanders, and we know that's the type of game that the Islanders play. Vegas is picking it up, as Dave Koken, again, to refer to the man that I love to refer to, is they look like they have that 200-foot game again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
End to end.
Swarming
when they're playing that type, when they're playing that game, they're scoring goals. And last 3 games have gone over the total. 4 of the last 6 have gone over the total. And I think if you look at their last 10, I think we have 7 of the 10 have gone over the total, I believe, or 6, 3, and 1. So the one game with Tampa was probably a 6.5. So it's the total from here.
Over for Carm, over for the Prez. Andrew McGinnis, where are you going in this one, my brother?
Yeah, let's make it a clean sweep here, guys. I just want to say, to everybody out there, there's nothing wrong with following a trend or following a streak. And right now, it's just wash, rinse, repeat with betting the over the total with the Vegas Golden Knights, because they're not just scoring goals in bunches against Anaheim. They're doing it against Tampa, Florida, everyone, not just the weaker teams of the league. And that's what really means a lot to me. This Vegas team, I thought they would get hot once they settled in with their little bit of a homestand. Their travel path was just ridiculous. The schedule makers had them flying all around the country, and all of a sudden they had a few games in a row at home, and they really got their act together. And I think it helps our over case as well, the fact that Edmonton played an OT game, even though it didn't really last too long. But anybody that saw that game, that was an outstanding game last night. And I just want to say, first of all, I think that you could probably put Prez on a lineup with Connor McDavid, and he'd score 1 or 2 goals in a season. But
I wouldn't. By the time Connor got close to the net, the Prez will have just been crossing the red line.
But FNSCU and Ennis, getting put right on the first line with him is outstanding work. The fact that Ken Holland goes out there and gets those players, then it's up to Tippett to do his job and balance those lines. And he says, you know what? I'll put both our new guys right on the top line with McDavid, and they both score in their debut. Unbelievable. FNSCU guys was plus 220 to score anytime, and Tyler Ennis plus 350. How were those 2 guys that started off on a line with Connor McDavid plus 350, 20 to score? I didn't really understand that, but the depth of this team is certainly growing. And Prez, I think, you can think back to it when you and I would be on this show together. It would be so repetitive. Every single time we're talking about the Oilers, we would just say the same thing. It's either Draisaitl or McDavid. 2/3 of all goals were produced either an assist or a goal by 2 of those players. And now they've added some more scoring touch. And like Carmine said, now it's not just, 1 or 2 guys. They can go line for line a little bit more with Vegas, which I think it even helps our over even more. And let's not give any, I don't want to discredit Marc-Andre Fleury. He's a great goalie, but the pace that Vegas has been playing has definitely been a pace for an over. So I'm looking over as well, guys. Clean sweep.
Yeah, and I love the line move by Tippett. It makes so much sense. Both Ennis and AA are speedy skaters, guys that could keep up to some degree with Connor. And And then you've got line 2 with Hopkins and Draisaitl. I mean, yeah, this team is really, really coming into its own. And they're going to be a real tough out once the playoffs hit. I don't know if you know this, but top 3 power play in the league, top 3 penalty kill in the league. And when you have those type of numbers and you get to a 7-game series, they're going to be a real hard out, Andrew.
Definitely, yeah, it's a great stat, Prez. I didn't know that about their penalty kill, but I did know their power play is crushing it. And I know that you're mentioning some of different bets on Bet365 and different websites. There's a few websites that I use where you can actually bet power play props. How many power play goals will there be in a game? A lot of times it's actually at a plus price, and Edmonton's definitely one of those circled teams I have to bet over 1.5 power play goals in that game. Whether it's them or their opposition, you can get that around plus 130 at most websites. So if your book offers it, Edmonton's definitely a good look. I think it's a pretty fun bet, honestly.
Guys, Buster Sports, he was our number 1 NHL expert last year, beating Carmine in ROI by about 1%. He really had a rough start to the season this year. Just wasn't getting any breaks. Lost, I think, 13 games or so in overtime or a shootout before he finally won one. He is absolutely rolling right now, 10-1 in his last 11 NHL plays. And, you know, Buster's been with us for a while. I'll tell you guys flat out, when you can find a handicapper who you're in and you're out wins a substantial amount of money in that particular sport, and they start off badly, that is actually a great time to purchase them. He is way too good to have a losing season in hockey. He's on a 10-1 NHL run, and I guarantee you this guy is going to roll until June. I took $100 off of the rest of his season. You could literally get all of his hockey right through to the Stanley Cup Finals for $295. Just head over to wagertalk.com, use the promo code BUSTERNHL. So if you only want hockey, it's BUSTERNHL. And if you want all sports, it's Bobby 30 Days. And Bobby is killing it in hockey as well. Boys, the Penguins, losers of 3 in a row. Lost to Washington, lost to Buffalo, lost to Toronto. They're on the road. They're playing the LA Kings, losers of 2 in a row, 4-2 against Edmonton and 2-1 against Colorado. And, minus 190 for a team who's kind of hit the skids doesn't feel right for me. I think if anything, the Kings are a live dog. I'm not going to get to the window on this play. But, Carm, I'll go to you first. I do like the under in this game. I think we're going to see a somewhat low-scoring game, 4 to 5 goals. What do you think?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. Just before I jump into this, when you were talking about Buster, I talk to Buster every once in a while. He puts a lot of work into his hockey. So definitely, as you said, if a guy starts off badly, jump on him, because he's at the end of the year, he's going to have plus numbers across the board. So if you didn't play him early, getting on late is probably the best thing you can do, because he's probably going to have a very good, profitable end of the season and playoffs. So as far as this game, listen, the one thing that really bugs me about the Pittsburgh Penguins is the 1A thing that they do with their goalies, with Murray and Tristan Jarry. I think they need to just stick with one guy. Jerry's been good, and I just don't get it. He has a great game against the Leafs. They win that game 5-2, and then he doesn't start the next game against the Leafs. They put Murray in there, and the Leafs win that game 4-0. I just don't get it. He should be in net tonight. The guy's got a 2.23 goals against average, a 0.927 save percentage. Ride him out. You know what I mean? Ride him until the guy loses a couple of games in a row, and then you switch. This 1-1A thing, I'm not a fan of it. It's the same thing that they do in Nashville with Pekka Rinne and Saros. Something's got to change. As far as tonight goes, I think this is a good spot for Penn starting a trip there. What ails you? Play against a team like the Kings. You got Jonathan Quick in net. He's lost, I think, 8 of his last 10 games. He hasn't looked very good in Quick. Jonathan Quick. That's what I said.
He hasn't looked very quick.
Yeah. Very good. Pun intended. Okay. Very good, sir. It's one of those ones where I'll look for. I don't think I'll need the empty net goal. I'm going to take the Pens. I think the Pens win tonight, and I think they win by 2+. So I'll lay the puck in a half and take the plus 125 on the on the puck line.
Mr. McGinnis.
I can't argue with Carm on that. I like the puck line as well, but I'm also going with the first period, half a goal. So first period puck line at plus 135 here. I think it's a really good spot here for Pittsburgh. Their lineup right now, guys, it's just getting better and better. The term Richard couldn't be more true about this Pittsburgh Penguins team. They go back and get Connor Sheary, a guy they won the Stanley Cup with in 2015. They pick up Patrick Marleau. And he's a guy that some people might call him, he's getting old, different things like that. I disagree. He's going to fit right in on this team. And despite his age, he's still a 200-foot player. I see 3 lines of guys that can all score. There's not one guy in their first 3 lines that I can't see scoring a goal tonight. And that's what happened when they won the Stanley Cup. It wasn't because of Malkin, wasn't because of Crosby, it wasn't because of Gensel. It was because they had so many guys that could score and produce. And that's pretty much the exact opposite of what the LA Kings have. So I like the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Start things off right on the West Coast. It's important to mention that they actually have been going over the total, though, when they've played Western Conference opponents. And LA, they slowed down a little bit, but for a little while they were involved in some higher scoring games. And to Carm's point about Tristan Jarry, just to be the devil's advocate here, though, Carm, do you think his goals against average would still be that good if he was playing more? Because I agree. I think he should have played back-to-back games there. But do you think it's kind of like,
there's only
volume when you're doing well betting? Do you think that this person would still have that good of a goals against average if he was playing as more games?
There's only one way to find out. Put him between the pipes. It is the only way to find out.
And not only that,
honestly.
Carm and Andrew, the guy's a kid. So I can't see that he's going to get super tired. And also, Carm, just to also play devil's advocate, the world champion St. Louis Blues had a 1A, 1B all year last year. When they get to the playoffs, they go with the one goalie. It will be interesting to see which one Pittsburgh chooses. My guess is it'll be Murray to start, and if he stinks it up, they'll swap it around. Guys, real quick, I stopped my sports show bonanza last night. I got home from hockey late around midnight, so I didn't have a lot of time to watch a movie. But I started Hunters on Amazon Prime. Al Pacino is in it. It's a show set in the mid-late 70s in New York, where Al Pacino, I guess, puts together a vigilante force that goes after Nazis who are hiding out in America. And oh my God, I watched the first episode, which was an hour and a half, didn't realize. It was freaking spectacular. I am just freaking out over this show so far, but I'm only one episode in. And of course, for me, it's really cool because I'm a Jewish guy and I grew up at a time where there were a lot of Holocaust survivors and a lot of Jewish people with European accents speaking Yiddish. So I watch the show with a smile on because I can really relate to a lot of the stuff. But I do highly recommend that show as of now, one episode in. It looks incredible. And Carm, you're watching Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I will watch this one. I've seen the previews for it, and I will watch it because you have been bugging me for the last while or so to watch Jack Ryan. And so I said to the wife, because she's always like, why don't we find something that we can watch together type of thing, right? So I'm like, well, Lauren said Jack Ryan. So we watched Jack Ryan when we breezed through season 1, and we're, I think, on episode 5 of season 2. And absolutely loving it. So this Hunters will definitely be the next one after this.
Look, I recommend Treadstone as well. I actually like Treadstone better than Jack Ryan. I thought Treadstone was one of the best new shows I've seen in years, to be quite honest with you. I had a problem with season 2 of Jack Ryan. It wasn't as logical, it wasn't as realistic, and the timelines didn't really fit. But season 1 of Jack Ryan was absolutely spectacular. Okay, boys, just to reiterate, Buster Sports on an 10-1 NHL run. You get $100 off of his NHL season, $295. Just head over to wagertalk.com, use the promo code BUSTERNHL, and of course Bobby Liggs up 70 freaking units in the last 60 plays. 70 units. That's unbelievable. 34-14 run, 10-3 in the NBA. This guy's going to run hot for the next couple of months. Great time to get him. Why are you laughing, Carm?
Listen, because you're talking about Bobby, and I didn't want to interrupt you. If you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. Follow Bobby, and he has a pinned tweet on his page, and it's and I think the Wager Talk account retweeted it today. It is the sheets, okay? So there's no disputing this guy was a bookie. It's the sheets from when they came to his house, the FBI or whoever it was, the Department of Justice, and they confiscated everything from his house. And I look at these sheets, and, you know, because we're going back just a little bit, there's some things that are on there that I just find so amusing. I look and I see, man, they took his fax machine. It's just the funniest thing. It's like, there's probably some guys watching this that are like, what the hell is a fax machine? But just seeing some of the stuff, an envelope with $17,000 cash in it. It is some of the stories that Bobby tells.
Yeah, it's very colorful.
It's very colorful, and the man knows his stuff. But if you look at those pages that are posted, and you see the things that they confiscated from him, they took the change out of his change dish by the front door, I think.
They took the cigarette ashes from the ashtray. Anyway, guys, head over to wagertalk.com. Get 30 days of Bobby's plays, $100 off. Use the promo code Bobby30days. And Andrew, do you know what a fax machine is?
I do.
What about a telex machine?
No clue.
He's Andrew McGinnis. Just entered puberty. Carmine the Bold Man. Love you, bro. I got one hockey play up tonight. Andrew's got his NHL total over at Sports Memo. Be well, everybody. In tomorrow's show, Alex B. Smith and the legend Dave Koken. And a big heads up. First pitch. We have a show on Friday with Brian Leonard and Dave Koken. We're going to attack how to bet preseason baseball. I'm the Prez, and, well, lunch is calling.